Hi there, I'm Raleigh Brown. This is, I believe, I think I can actually check here. I think this is this is concert number 79 in our series of curve flattening concerts, and we're working to try and reclaim our world in so many different ways. Welcome aboard, all of you. I see lots of folks tuning in. I'll wait a second or two. I'll get my little thing up here. And before I start, I have brand new strings on the Prue guitar today. This had kind of extra light strings on it because of some little issues I was having, and then I had the issues worked on, but I never got around to putting the regular strings back on again, but they're on there now. And I think it sounds pretty good. Sounds good with bad strings too, but it sounds even better with good strings. So this first song for you today is this is the humor song. If you saw the teaser that said there'd be some humor, this is that one, and it is especially because I know there's a lot of my old friends from Northeast Ohio here that they might recognize the kind of nature of this humor. It's a kind of special Cleveland, Ohio kind of humor. And the song was written by a guy who passed away a couple years ago. I never met him, but we had a bunch of mutual friends. His name was Tim Wallace, and he had a jug band called the Smokin' Fez Monkeys, and he wrote some very cool songs. He wrote a song called "The World Is Ruled by Assholes," which is particularly trenchant and prescient at these times. But I'm not going to sing that one for you. I'm going to sing this song of unrequited love called "You Don't Even Care." You may hear a little of the kind of Blind Blake guitar style in here. Well, I shot myself in the head, but you don't even care. Held my breath till I was dead, but you don't even care. Well, I taped a note to my forehead saying you don't even care. And I hate it when you treat me this way. Well, I gassed myself the other night, but you don't even care. Burned my lips on your tailpipe, but you don't even care. You told me that I never did a single thing for you, not even when I choked and turned your favorite shade of blue. Well, I hung myself, but I suppose you don't even care. Right next to your favorite clothes, you don't even care. I was strung up by your pantyhose, and you don't even care. And I hate it when you treat me this way. Well, I threw myself off of your roof, but you don't even care. Now my dead corpse is living proof that you don't even care. Well, I landed flat with a big fat splat, but on my way down, you know I called your name so folks would blame you all over town. Well, I stuffed grenades into my jeans, but you don't even care. Blew my butt to smithereens, but you don't even care. And you weren't even listening, 'cause you don't even care. And I hate it when you treat me this way. climbed into the lion's den, but you don't even care. I never did climb back out again, but you don't even care. Where they pawed me and they clawed me the way you used to do. And when they ripped my heart out, I could only think of you. Well, I lashed and gashed and bashed myself, but you don't even care. I mashed and thrashed and trashed myself, but you don't even care. I even made a flaming ash of myself, but you don't even care. And I hate it when you treat me like I'm maladjusted. Well, I hate it when you treat me like I'm self-destructive. Hate it when you treat me like I'm codependent. And I hate it when you treat me this way. You Don't Even Care by the late, great Tim Wallace. And I'll do a little check-in here to see what my Cleveland friends, how they responded. Hi, hey, Frank. Frank Fatuski's here. Deb Libby Clark, Jim Moran, Carol Pred, Dave Van Allen, Aretta Walk, Mike Verbeck, Andreas, Dave Current, Mike Verbeck again, Sarah Steele, my wife is here somewhere, I saw her, Cindy Glorioso, Michael Tierson, Ann Mintz, my dear, Janice McKenzie, my dearest dear, Howard Hobbs, Bob Walker, hey you guys, Burks, Debbie, Donna, okay, the whole crew, Lucy, Margot Lemieux, Michael Jolly, Tom Dietz, man, what a crew, and Kit Sirikaku, she corrected me on her name. Hi Kit, over there on Oahu. I think I'm gonna have a cup of coffee after the concert. Okay, here we go. That's enough of that for now. So we're going to put this in place. So that's the humor part. Now we get on to the beautiful part. And we're going to be beautiful and in tune if I have anything to say about it, but I might not. We'll see. So, let's see here. Yeah, I first recognized, when you're born, like it's like a fish doesn't know what water is. So when you're born in Cleveland, you don't understand Cleveland humor until you move away, and then sometime you hear some of the insanity and you go, oh, that reminds me of home. And the first time I heard it was when Drew Carey was just a young guy, and before he became famous. And he was on Johnny Carson or something, and he did this whole bit about driving around with a corpse in his old Chevy. And I thought, somehow that reminds me of Cleveland. So, now this is by another songwriter who once lived in Cleveland. His name was Phil Oakes. He lived in South Euclid, and which I lived in Euclid, but not at the same time. Well, I was probably 6 or something. Anyhow, Phil wrote a bunch of great topical songs, but he also wrote some just strictly beautiful songs, and this is one of those. I'll tell you a little story afterwards. It was on an Indiana farm in the middle of the country, growing in the fields of grain. Jim Dean of Indiana. His mama died when he was a boy. His daddy was a stranger. Marcus Winslow took him in. Nobody seemed to want him. The hired hand sang like a storm. Sometimes he would beat him, for he would never do the chores. He was lost in dreaming. He never seemed to find a place with the flatlands and the farmers. So he had to go one day. He said to be an actor. Once he came back from the movie town with starlets from the stages. They locked themselves inside his room. The people turned their faces. Then a neighbor ran from the movie house. The chickens, they were scattered. He swore he saw upon the screen Jim Dean of Indiana. He played a boy without a home, torn with no tomorrow, reaching out to touch someone, a stranger in the shadows. The Winslows left for the movie town. They drove across the country. They hoped that he would stay around, and they hoped he would be friendly. He talked with them for half an hour, but he was busy racing, and he left for the Grapevine Road, and they left for Indiana. Then Marcus heard on the radio that a movie star was dying. He turned the tuner way down low so Hortense could go on sleeping. It was not until they reached the farm where the hired man was waiting. The wind was silent through the grain. It was just as they had told him. They buried him just down the road, a mile from the farmhouse, and it was there I placed a flower for Jim Dean of Indiana. So one time, Jan and I were driving through Indiana. We were actually coming back from a Tai Chi workshop with one of the masters I studied with, who traveled around the country, and sometimes we'd tag along. And we saw Fairmount, Indiana, home of James Dean. So we said, well, we could spare a little time for that. So we got off and we went and we saw his grave, James Dean's grave, and the farmhouse. And then there's a little museum in an old house there. We spent an afternoon looking at all kinds of James Dean memorabilia. The story goes that this little graveyard was all dilapidated and run down, and some smart person told the Winslow family that they were missing the boat by not capitalizing on royalties for James Dean's image. And so they got right on top of that, and millions of dollars rolled in, and now there's flowers. At least when we went there, this was probably 15 years ago, there's flowers on every grave in that graveyard every day. And it's well kept, and there's a bunch of, there's infinite number of of lipstick smudges on the gravestone, and guitar picks and all kinds of what have you. He didn't even play guitar, but it was a nice thing to do. Okay, so James Dean. Phil Oakes. Phil Oakes. What a figure. And there's another beautiful thing I'm going to play for you today. Somebody requested this. I meant to look and see. It might have been John David Sprouse. I'm not sure. But if it isn't, if you're on here, you can say, hey, it was me. So this is Maria Elena. Maria Elena. I don't know who wrote that. I heard Ry Cooder play it like the kind of, years and years ago in drop D tuning like this, big drop D. And I've never really worked up an arrangement, but I kind of know it enough to try to play it here for you today. So let's see if we, perfect. So let me mention a couple things. I will be back tomorrow morning for a 10:30 concert, and Monday I believe Alex Bevan will be streaming at 3:30. Tuesday, Cozy Sheridan and Charlie Koch will be streaming at 10:30 a.m. and I'll be at 3. Wednesday, I think Frank Fatuski will be doing his evening concert, and Frank is just a killer blues player, really good guitar playing there. So you ought to go hear him. And then by Thursday, I'll be back again at 3. So we will keep on trying to keep you all entertained while you lay as low as you can. You really get to hear a guitar when you put a flat pick to it. Here's a little bit of roots music for you from the guitar style and the great brain of Norman Blake. I've been hanging out of town, Lord, in that low-down rain, watching Good Time Charlie Friends is driving me insane. Out on shady Charlotte Street, the green lights all looked red, and I wish I was back on the farm in my feather bed. I'm gonna get myself a rocking chair to see if I could lose the thin dime, a hard time, hell on Church Street blues. Yesterday's news, and then I folded up page 21 and I stuck it in my shoe. Gave me a nickel to the poor, my good deed for the day. Then I folded up my old billfold and I threw it far away. I'm gonna get myself a rocking chair to see if I could lose them thin dime, hard time, hell on Church Street blues. Guitar strings, that old Black Diamond brand. I'd string up this old guitar and I'd go and join some band. But I guess I'm gonna stay right here and pick and sing a while. Make myself a little change and give them folks a smile. Gonna get myself a rocking chair to see if I could lose them thin dime, hard time, hell on Church Street blues. Norman Blake's fantastical Church Street Blues. So that's it for today. I did neglect to mention there is a PayPal link if you'd like to donate a little something. Make myself a little change and give them folks a smile. That's what Norman would say about that. And for those of you who have donated to the cause, I am extremely grateful. I can't always take time to thank everyone. In fact, I hardly ever can. But I do appreciate it, and I see all those names go by, and I appreciate them all. So you guys have a good evening, and maybe you'll come back tomorrow at 10:30, and I'll play some more music for you. I'll have something different from today. Take care. Bye-bye. Love you all. Oh, if you get cranky, take a nap. Stay safe and stay sane.